Marvel Studios is launching Marvel Spotlight, a brand new way to consume MCU content, which has gotten a lot of people excited, which to me is exactly what this should have done. But it's weird because it's the anti MCU approach that's getting all the buzz, which doesn't make sense considering that years ago we were literally asking for what we don't want anymore. Leading up into Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame, when hashtag It's All Connected was still a thing that Marvel TV was peddling, Marvel Studios got a lot of backlash for not including all the little characters we've seen on Marvel TV. Cloak and Dagger, the Runaways, of course Jessica Jones, and the big one being Daredevil. This of course was logistics due to Marvel TV, we now know that, but it's interesting that now we've gone so far into that and making sure everything connects that people don't want it anymore, and now we're pulling back to Marvel Spotlight, a brand new banner and style of MCU shows. So Echo will be the first one in this new initiative slash push, and Marvel Spotlight is going to be very interesting because this is aiming to tell stories, and this is directly from Marvel who's saying this, that don't need to be viewed in the bigger context of the MCU, and they can stand on their own, and if you miss it, well, don't worry. You're not going to miss a whole lot, but it's an opportunity for them to build out characters that aren't necessary for the main continuity. For example, Echo will have nothing to do with the multiverse saga in terms of Kang, big Easter eggs, references to what's happening in Loki, and all this other stuff, right? It's sitting outside of that, which honestly, I think is a smart move, but also, again, it's counterintuitive to what people were asking for years ago. And Marvel had to pivot this way now, due to backlash of giving fans what they wanted, where everything was connected and mattered. And I think that this honestly was always going to happen, and I don't have a problem with it, but I think that it's interesting that we now have a brand that's literally going back to what made Marvel TV kind of sit outside the MCU and didn't depend on the bigger universe revolving around it, which again, I think works depending on the story. I think here it's going to work, and obviously, this is still in continuity with the MCU. Make no mistake about it. You just don't need to watch this to understand everything when you go to like Daredevil Born Again, right? Sort of like how it looks like Captain America 4 to a degree. You can go into that and you don't have to watch The Falcon and the Winter Soldier by all accounts, and you're going to be like, yeah, I know what's going on. So they're already kind of leaning into this with some projects, but I think this one specifically under a new banner is a genius move. Because to me, it's telling me that they've realized that not everything has to connect, and they're pulling back on that. And not everything has to be the next important chapter in the MCU saga, right? It doesn't have to be that, and that's good.